I'm Teisha Bader with Shalom TV's news update for Wednesday, February the 13th, 2013. Israel's ambassador to the United Nations, Ron Prosor, repeated his calls for the European Union to designate Hezbollah as a terror organization. As we've been reporting to you over the last week, similar calls to the EU have been expressed by Israel and the global Jewish community since Bulgaria released their report last week that determined that Hezbollah was indeed behind the terror attack in Burgas last summer that killed 5 Israeli tourists and a Bulgarian bus driver. Prosor made his comments at a UN Security Council debate on Tuesday, where he also noted Hezbollah providing arms and training for Bashar Assad's men in Syria. It does not take a Nobel Peace Prize laureate, Prosor said, to realize that we are not exactly dealing with a selfless humanitarian organization. Following the arrests earlier this week of 10 women praying at the Western Wall in Jerusalem, the executive vice president of the Rabbinical Assembly, Rabbi Julie Schoenfeld, renewed her calls for a quick solution to the matter that respects religious pluralism and women's equality. The women arrested were part of the Women of the Wall group, which protests the ultra-Orthodox insistence that only men may pray at the wall wearing the traditional talit or prayer shawl. The women were detained on Monday for wearing their prayer shawls as men do. And 2 conservative rabbis who are members of the Rabbinical Assembly, Deborah Cantor of B'nai Tikva Shalom in Bloomfield, Connecticut, and Robin Fryer Bodzin of the Israel Center of Conservative Judaism in Flushing, New York, were among those detained. After their arrest, Schoenfeld said it is unthinkable that in 2013, Israel is still denying the religious freedom of Jews wishing to express their faith without fear of being detained. Today's action, she said, once again divides the Jewish community's unity and drains energy away from crucial issues demanding our attention. RA President Gerald Skolnick said he was proud of the women for putting their personal freedom at risk on behalf of all of us, saying Bodzin and Cantor embody the immeasurable contribution that women make to the conservative rabbinate and to world Jewry. The president of the Zionist Organization of America spoke to the Jerusalem Post on Tuesday about the ZOA's lobbying efforts aimed at blocking the confirmation of Chuck Hagel as U.S. Secretary of Defense. Mort Klein said the ZOA was, aside from the Republican Jewish Coalition, a partisan group, the only major Jewish group to publicly oppose the nomination. Klein further said he was personally called by major Jewish leaders and told to stop the campaign against Hagel. He said that his counterparts at other organizations said that he was making the Hagel nomination a Jewish issue, which they considered bad for the Jews. Klein said he believes Jewish leaders should get together regularly to discuss such issues of concern and, quote, give both sides on an issue a chance to make their views known and try to persuade others of what actions the organized Jewish community should take. Klein is in Israel as a member of a delegation organized by the Conference of Presidents of major American Jewish organizations. The Post also sat down with conference executive vice chairman Malcolm Hoenlein, who is also in Israel with the delegation. He spoke about the future of American Jewry. Addressing claims by some that young American Jews are not truly interested or care about Israel, Hoenlein said that is simply untrue. Young American Jews care very much about Israel, he said. I think that one of the huge problems we have is ignorance, and that you don't have a rallying cause like we had with Soviet Jews, Syrian Jews, and Ethiopian Jews, for people to manifest their interest. Hoenlein further said that while there have always been young Jews who are disinterested in Israel, many Jewish organizations are creating new vehicles to try and stay relevant, including the conference. Hoenlein also addressed the rise of violence against Jews with regard to Islamist terrorism and anti-Semitism. At the end of the day, he said, terror threats, the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement, and other threats on a global scale will require Jewish organizations to coordinate internationally like never before. Make sure to watch Mark Golub's interview with Malcolm Hoenlein from Jerusalem on Shalom TV's In the News. The Jewish Week reports that an Israeli group of scientists and space enthusiasts wants to make Israel go where only 2 other countries have gone before. Space IL is aiming to make Israel the third country behind the U.S. and Russia to successfully land a spacecraft on the moon. The nonprofit is participating in Google's Lunar X Prize competition. The group's leader, Yariv Bash, said Team Space IL views its participation in this competition as a national mission, one that will help develop its space industry and promote scientific awareness among the country's youth. Space IL has received support from several Israeli academic, scientific, and high-tech industries, including the Israeli Space Agency, Israeli Aerospace Industry, the Asher Space Research Institute at the Technion, and the Ramon Foundation, among many others. In order to win the $30 million prize, a private team must successfully land a robot on the surface of the moon and send images back to Earth by the end of 2015. There are currently 25 teams from around the world competing for the prize. And that's Shalom TV's news update for Wednesday, February the 13th, 2013. I'm Teisha Bader.